Hello, guys. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Today our story is from our subscriber Candy262. The story is called I-27F Cannot Get Over My X-30M of 4 years. Story: I-27F was with my X-30M for 4 years until last year when I broke up with him, and I cannot get over him no matter how hard I try. I would love for some advice on how people get over a relationship that meant so much. We met through work, and we were both going through terrible relationships, and we both helped each other realize that our relationships were not healthy and to break up. Eventually, we started talking more and went on our first date, and we spent over 3 hours together just talking. And he even explained something about programming and writing on a receipt that he kept for years, since it meant a lot to him. After the date, I kissed him, and it was amazing ever since. We got along so well. I have terrible anxiety, and he was always super supportive and knew how to calm me down when I needed it. We have different interests, but we were always willing to learn about what we like. I was always confused, though, with his interests, but I tried my best. He also helped me learn more about myself in an intimate way, because I never had any guy want to even help me figure out what I was interested in, so we had a very strong connection in this way, too. We had very similar humor, always making each other laugh no matter what. And when we fought, we learned to just talk it out rather than yell, and it was great. I was the happiest I ever was, and I thought this would be my forever. 2020, when the pandemic hit, was when everything went downhill. I left the job we met in 2019, and he was there miserable from this new manager, and also being promised a promotion, and then was lied to about it. He eventually quit, but never told me for 3 weeks, and I lost a bit of trust in him from that. He ended up moving into his grandfather's house 2 hours away, because his mom was a hoarder and the house was falling apart, and he couldn't even shower, so he moved, so he could be able to shower and sleep and cook food since he couldn't at home, which I understood. I was told this would be temporary, and it ended up being for over 3 years, him living there, barely being able to see each other, and him not even looking for a job, which was also a huge problem. He has ADHD, anxiety, depression, and insomnia, so he would never work to improve himself. He never looked for a job, and before I knew it, he stopped taking care of himself and eventually wasn't able to afford things. We weren't able to go on a single date the last year we were together, and I feel selfish saying that, but I just didn't feel cared for anymore. I tried my best to be supportive in his decisions, to help find jobs when he didn't even try, to try to see him as much as I could since I was working and he wasn't, so I would drive 2 hours on my day off to see him. It started to mess with my mental health, and I was falling apart trying to fix this relationship. At the end of the relationship, he was afraid to see me, thinking he was disappointing me and upsetting me, which was true, but I held on hope that he would improve and we could be happy in this relationship. The timeline was August 2022 was the last time we saw each other in person. The last text message I got from him was February 2023, and I broke up with him in a text April 2023 because I tried calling him, and he would refuse to pick up, so I felt like a text was enough, since he didn't put any effort in to talk to me in the end. He never read the breakup message still to this day. I miss him every day, and talking to my therapist today about it, I was able to cry at least. But I was bawling over feeling pathetic not getting over him and just wanting to get back together with him and wonder what he's doing and if he thinks of me as much as I think of him. I know I'm better off not being with him, but why can't I get over him? My therapist told me I should write out my feelings, so I'm sorry this is so long. Maybe I just needed to vent. Haha. Update. Thank you for taking the time to read what I wrote. I appreciate it. I never really thought of it in that way. I guess that's how I'm thinking about it and processing it still. I think in my mind I'm thinking I'm never going to get a relationship again where I'm cared for in the way he cared for me, until he started having his mental health problems get in the way of it, and ended up making the relationship fall apart. I can't say that it wasn't my fault either, but at the same time for years I was putting in so much effort to help, and show him he's not alone in what he's struggling with, and I'm here for him, but because of him not even trying to improve and work on it, I in the end gave up because why should I put in the effort when he wasn't? I do appreciate the time we had together, and I do miss it a lot, and I'm constantly thinking of the good times we had together before it fell apart. I'm just afraid that nobody will put up with me like he did. Comment from user Fiery Valkyrie. I think what you miss is an idealized version of him. Do you miss having to take a 2-hour trip every time you wanted to see him? Do you miss being in a relationship with someone who put no effort in? Do you miss feeling neglected and unloved? It's okay to remember the good times fondly, but don't forget that of your 4 years together, only one of them was good. The rest was just the slow death of the relationship. Thank you for your attention, for following our story. I am grateful for every moment we have experienced together, for the challenges that made us stronger, and for the joys that made our life complete. I look forward to your comments. It truly means a lot to me. Do you believe that you can love someone else's child as much as your own? If you enjoyed the story, subscribe to my channel and like the video. I appreciate your support. Until our next meetings and new stories, gratitude and much love.